Justin here, and welcome to Tech Without Tech Pastor, a podcast where we're engaging with tech, technology, the local church, and you, how you can use this for your business, how you can use this for your job, how you can use this for your work. First of all, thank you all for following along and being a part of the journey here for That Without Tech Pastor. I've met so many of you on the road. I met so many of you in different spaces, and it's been super cool to meet so many amazing people who care about technology, the local church, and all of that. So as you guys are joining into this, be sure you hit that like and subscribe buttons, make that thing do backflips. And I'm so grateful you guys are part of our journey. No matter where we've met, no matter what God has done in your life, I'm so glad you're here with us. Today, I want to talk about budgeting for AI. So I want to talk about what it means to budget for AI without breaking your church. There's a lot of snake oil out there. And sooner than later, you're going to get hit with this. And one of the areas you're going to have to go to is your finance team. And as a pastor, I totally get that here, if God has called us to be good stewards, or being good stewards of our time, our energy, and our resources. And so there's a lot of snake oil. There's a lot of stuff out there. And I want to talk about how to budget for AI in your church without losing your mission of your church. So I'm not trying to hype you up. I'm not trying to sell you anything. This conversation to me is all about stewardship, calling us back to the scriptures. So wherever you're leading, you can't avoid AI. So I'm going to tell you how to budget it. So make sure you take this, share it with your finance team, share it with your finance leader. I want to talk about money. I want to talk about ministry. I want to talk about the future. I want to talk about you and make sure that you guys have AI part of your church without losing the momentum of your church. So Tech Without Tech Pastor, budgeting for AI that makes sense. Let's have some fun today. Every week, I get this question when I meet with churches, I meet with pastors across the country. Doc, how do we afford AI? We can barely afford the stuff we got, right? Whether it's musicians, flyers, or coffee, and extra stuff through our worship, speakers, whatever it is. How can we budget for this stuff we can't see when we got all this other stuff? And to me, I think the question is, that's not the right question. I think the question is a deeper question, right? How do we stay faithful to the mission when resources are tight, when expectations are growing, and we want to use some stuff that people don't really understand? I mean, you're still dealing with people who are grieving using artificial intelligence in their lives and grieving using AI in this space, right? So most churches, I'm realizing, never deal with a lack of vision. You got vision. What we're dealing with is a lack of money and hours and resources, right? It's not a matter of your vision. It's money, hours, and resources. And so I come along with AI and I'm like, hey, AI can give you your time back. AI can give you even new resources. AI can give you some structure, but where's the money for it? Then we got to still pay for this AI tool. So here's the truth to me that's going to give you some clarity. AI has to be a teammate for you, right? And AI is going to save you the resources on some staffing. AI is going to save you the resources on some work. So this is the part of the basic infrastructure of your churches today. So the same way I want you to consider this as we have this conversation to the finance teams listening, the same way that emails and websites and projectors were something we had to splurge on in the 90s and the early 2000s, the same way that in COVID you had to splurge on live streaming is the same way right now you have to splurge on AI. AI is not a trend anymore. AI is making room for ministry. I want to be really clear about this. AI is not a trend anymore. AI is making room for ministry. This is where you're going to see this intersection of stewardship and strategy. It's as necessary at this point as getting the internet. And I'm going to tell you this for churches. Either you get this now or you're going to be forced to get it soon. So this is where I want you to see this. Here's my principle. AI is a ministry tool. It's not an experiment. Now I'm sitting here like getting all hyped up about it. It's not a tool, it's an experiment. So here's the basics of artificial intelligence. It used to be back in 2022, 2023, when AI first got started, AI was for the curious staff member who just wanted to play around with stuff. I was one of them, right? It wasn't a co-laborer. It was just this extra thing that like the tech team had to help them put some captions on a video, right? Now it can do so much more. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you guys this app that I built called Grant Forge. And I'm going to show you something that Grant Forge can do. So Grant Forge is a tool that I built. And here's what Grant Forge can do. Grant Forge literally can give you, I connected it to grants.gov. It'll literally give you suggested grants. You can discover grants, do the intake, draft, get the guardrails, do the delivery reports, everything all in this tool. I want to show you here the reason that's important is, well, this. AI is not just the thing for the geek. AI is not just the thing for the tech team. It's the tool that literally can replace people to do the work for you. So that tool is connected to grants.gov. So every time a grant comes up that fits my profile, it puts it into my dashboard and tells me how I can apply for it. It scrapes the LinkedIn of the board of the organization I'm trying to reach to make sure I can try to get the money. That's what AI saves. So AI belongs in the same category of your musicians, of The live stream budget. A well-prepared staff is a present church staff, and presence right now is what it really means, what you're protecting. So I think you have to answer the question before I get to the practical of what you're protecting. So AI is going to save you some money, but you got to spend some money, because here's what AI saves more than money: it saves you minutes. That was so good. AI is going to save you money, but it's going to save you more than money, which is minutes. And minutes are the most expensive part of your ministry. So think about the time you spend editing graphics, writing a caption, formatting a newsletter, sending some emails, making phone calls, writing out follow-up emails, doing guest automations, writing out letters to people, following up with, all this extra crap. The stewardship says you're wasting some time, whereas AI can give you that time back so you can do the things you're called to do. I often like to tell pastors, I was not called to send emails. I was called to care for God's people. I'm a pastor, not an emailer. So now the strategic planning that I'm called to do as a visionary, I can do. The discipleship face to face, I can do. The pastoral care, I can do. The study, I can do. The community engagement, I can do. Or rest, I can do. And for many of us, you just need a nap, and AI can give you that back. Pastor, and you're looking for a GPT that is catered to you to help you craft sermons and do pastoral care and do work? Well, I got made one for you. It's called Pastor GPT, and it's made for Black pastors and Black church leaders by a Black pastor. In here, you have formative ways to engage with your preaching, your teaching, your pastoral care, all for Black congregations, Black people, and Black pastors. Now, anybody can use it, but it's crafted especially for Black people to have a space to do their own thing and to engage holistically as Black individuals. So please go to pastorgpt.co and take a look at it. There's subscription models. There's a free model where you get 5 conversations a month. There's the first tier where you get 50 conversations a month, and a second tier where you get up to 150 conversations a month. Take a look, try it out. The goal of it is to give Black pastors and church leaders a space to bleed Black pastors and church leaders. I look forward to engaging with you in what Pastor GPT can do for you, for your future, for our churches, and for all the guys. So here's how you do it. So I'm going to talk to small churches, and I'm going to talk to big churches. So if you're smaller churches, the new data has come out that says the median sized church is actually 60 people. So if you're a church under 200, 50, 100, 200, here's what I want to tell you this. I get hit up all the time about smaller churches, and they say we don't have the budget. And my response to them is, no, you need it. You just haven't reallocated the funds to it. So look at your weekly spending rhythms for small churches. You got your monthly musician stipend, you got a recurring event budget, you got a handful of subscriptions that you're not using the most of, you got hospitality costs, you got printing costs, and then you probably got contractors that probably need to be automated in an AI tool. The thing you need to be comfortable with is that there's probably going to be some hard conversations you have with some people who are stealing from you by not maximizing their full skill set, and you're paying them $200 that could go to 4 tools that could replace them and give you 10 times more and work overnight. So here's what I want you to think about. I want you to redirect as a church $200 to $300 a month to give you access to every tool you need. That's it. For the smaller churches, I want you to think about $200 to $300 a month for every tool you need. That's ChatGPT, or Claude, and that's your foundation model. That's Canva Pro, which will be all your graphics. That's Descript or Opus, that'll make sure you can streamline to get all the clips for your messages. And that's Zapier or Make to automate your processes. Any subscription to your platform that you can get, I think that's a great thing to do. And if you want to subscribe to the work that I've done, you can also add that in there too. I'm not trying to get you to expand your budget. I want you to organize what you already have so you can work harder for the mission. I want you to think under $200 for you to do that work. Now, if you're a larger church, here's my suggestion to you. I want you to take one of your musicians. So whatever one of your musicians is budget. So if you have not your main musicians, not your main 1 or 2, but I want you to think about that musician that is like an auxiliary musician, the lead guitar, bass guitar. I don't know that is for you, whatever your church is. Some churches, that's your main musician, but not the main 1 or 2 musicians, but maybe if it's a saxophonist, whatever that person gets. So maybe it's $300 a week, $200 a week. If you're a larger church, over 200, so that 200 to 700, that's where you can budget that person per month, that AI piece per month. So that's where you can think about having a consultant, somebody like me or a strategist, somebody like me or some other friends of mine to come in once over the course of the year for your church conference or leadership to pay that person, and then have your subscriptions as well. So that way you have access to a person like myself, plus having a subscription model that's whether it's Chat, Canva, Descript, Church Funnels, whatever, to do that work for you. If you're over 500, I would highly recommend having a monthly, month over month with a strategist to do the work for you. So now this is where you take that same like budget model. So whatever that auxiliary musician is, maybe it's a part-time contractor, have that person on board. And if you're above like 2,000 members and you have the pliable budget, I would hire someone. I would hire an engineer, somebody with an engineering or computer science background. And I want to say this: do not hire an adjacent person. If you're going to have somebody on board with you that's not a strategist or a consultant, you hire on somebody who has a background that knows things like Java, Python, C++, understands intranet and infrastructure. And if you want some job descriptions, comment the word jobs and I'll send you a list of my job descriptions. But you want to make sure that the people you bring on are going to be those who are you going to budget. Now, the salaries for those individuals, part-time, you're looking between $60,000 to $75,000. And the salaries for them full-time at a church is going to be 100 to 150. That's for the mega churches. The churches under 500, you're looking at a strategist or person to be on board. People under $200 a month. The goal of this to you guys is what Jesus says: gather what you have, gather the fragments that remain, because those fragments are going to build capacity so you can be good stewards of what you have. All right. So here's what I want you to think about if you're going to adopt this. So this is now for the whole team to come in together. I want you to think about a 30, 60, 90 plan. 30 days to audit what you have, list all the repetitive tasks in your church, bulletins, emails, follow-ups, whatever. Choose two AI tools to test for the 30-day plan. Then I want you to do a 60-day training session. Hold 2 short staff labs. You can talk to someone like me, someone local, whatever that is. Document what saves you time and document what doesn't. And then 90 days from now, adopt something. Keep the tools that free your time. Get rid of the tools that don't. Bring your results to your board and say, that's what we need to pay for. 30, 60, 90. All right. So that's what I want you really to do, to make some sense of some stuff you have and to have some fun in the process. So let me speak for a second to the larger churches again, to engage with you guys a little bit more, because I know I kind of just skirted over it for what that means. So I'm talking to the churches now. You have 30 plus staff members. You're over that 2,000 member mark. You have all the infrastructure. You have the complex ministry structure. Your challenge now is not access to the stuff. It's organization of your teams. I want you to think about what it means to have locally sourced models. So there's a lot of open source models. You can purchase a GPU for $5,000 to $7,000 to have on your campus, to have your stuff locally sourced for you. I would highly recommend looking at your infrastructure and who you hire and paying competence to come into your space. So to me, there's 3 things your ministry needs. Number 1 is a private data model trained on your sermons, your policies, and your curriculum that can be accessed offline. So don't have everything online, but have some stuff offline for a church your size. Number 2, automation dashboards. So I would challenge you to either have a person on your team to build one or to vibe code your own that streamline your human resources, your communication, your scheduling, and your follow-up. And then lastly, have a governance team that's in place that's looking at accuracy and privacy and ethics, and communicate with transparency on all of this for your church. 1 to 2% of your budget allocated to this is powerful to me. It keeps your ministry accountable, it keeps you organized, and make sure you're prepared for whatever comes along, because Proverbs tells us you understand and know the condition of your flock. Today's world, you got to know your digital flock as well. All right. So AI is going to give you your time. It's going to give you stuff. It's worth the investment. And the heart of the matter to me is the miracle. Like, think about this. The miracle for Jesus when he fed the 5,000 was not the multiplication. It was the organization. I love the text because the text says before he fed those people, he told the disciples to get them in groups of 50. And their faith had to get them in 50. And the conversations tell us, like, how is this going to happen? The disciples sat the people. The disciples organized the baskets. The disciples gathered the bread. And every together, they organized what remained. Management made room for abundance. I want that to sink in. Managing harvest well made room for more abundance. There was so much left over. Budgeting for artificial intelligence to me is an act of management. It creates space for the abundance you're praying for. Not more content, not more tasks, but more presence. And presence to me is pastoral. So the future of the church for me is not going to be shaped by more flashy trends, more flashy closes, more flashy clothes. It's going to be shaped by leaders who plan well. And to me, budgeting for your church is very important. Artificial intelligence can assist you in this, but your budget line is a picture of your ministry. Where you put your money is where your heart and your values are. So every hour you save is telling your church that we're stewarding our time well. Bible tells us this: If you're faithful over a few things, you'll be ruled over many. That faithful over a few things is not just a few dollars. That faithful over a few things is a time, your people, and your management of even the tools of this time era. So the promise I'm going to give you, steward well, God's going to bless it, because that's what he told us he'll do. He blesses good stewards and he loves cheerful givers. For me, that doesn't just work for our money, that also works for our time, our energy, our passions, and our goals with AI. So thanks for joining me today. Do me a favor, send this to a pastor, send this to a board member, send this to a whole staff. All of you guys sit down and watch it. I wrote a blog on this at jrlester.com/blog. If you want to talk further, go to jrlester.com. I'd love to talk to you or your team to talk more about this. Until then, stay wise, stay ready, and don't forget, man, I'm giving you the business for your business. So hit that like and subscribe button. God loves you. Now go feed God's people and steward it well. Peace.